Good morning. Happy Sunday and happy 4th of July. I hope you guys are having a good summer, surviving the heat. I can't believe how hot it's been in June and how fast June went. We're already halfway through summer. I can't believe it. I hope you guys have been trying to stay cool, maybe visiting the pool, running through the sprinklers, just trying to stay out of this hot weather. Um, and I know it's not fun to have rain, but we should all probably say a little prayer that we get some rain during the month of July, just so we aren't um, drying up and having a lot of fires as we get on through the summer. So anyway, I missed seeing you guys last week, but I'm back and I have a new story for us to go over today. It's in my handy dandy Spark Bible. And the story today is called Jesus Feeds 5,000. And I am sure that you guys have all heard this story. I know we've done it multiple times at church. We've done it in Sunday school. We've done it in kids club. And I'm sure we probably even have done it in vacation Bible school. So once I start reading it, I bet you guys are all going to recognize this story. So here's our picture. We've got Jesus on the boat, and I believe this is probably a few of the disciples. And there's our friend Squiggles. And if you look over here on the shore, there is a huge crowd of people waiting to see what Jesus has to say. So let's go ahead and read our story. Jesus feeds 5,000. It was a beautiful sunny day as Jesus and his disciples crossed the Sea of Galilee in a boat with a white sail. Jesus had been healing sick people, and many more people of all ages came to see him again that day. Maybe they could hear more of Jesus' stories or see him show God's power through another miracle. When Jesus saw the large crowd of men, women, and children, he asked his friend Philip, "How are we going to get enough food to feed all these people?" Philip answered, "I could work for 6 months and not earn enough money to buy food for all of these men, women, and children." He's saying, "I have no idea." The disciples didn't know what to do. Just then Andrew pointed to a young child and said, "Here is a boy who has 5 small loaves of bread and 2 fish. It is something, but it certainly isn't enough food for all of these people." The boy looked very nervous as he said in a small voice, "Jesus, please take my food if you think it will help." Jesus took the 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes that the boy offered and asked his friends to have the crowd sit down. About 5,000 people sat in the grassy meadow by the lake that day. After Jesus gave thanks to God, he blessed the 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. Then he shared the food with all of the people who were there that day. All 5,000 people ate until they were full. So there's our little boy with his 5 loaves and 2 fish. And this lady, she's like, that looks delicious. And here's Jesus. And let's see what they're going to do with those 5 loaves and 2 fish. Then Jesus said, "Now let's gather up all the leftovers." And you know what? There were enough leftover pieces of bread to fill 12 large baskets. More loaves and fishes left over than the boy had given Jesus. The disciples shook their heads in disbelief as they struggled to pick up the baskets heavy with food. The people saw the full baskets of leftovers and began to understand that something extraordinary had happened. Another miracle. Jesus smiled as he heard the people say, "God must have sent Jesus to us." It was a day the boy, the disciples, and all of the people would never forget. So here we started out with one little basket with 5 loaves and 2 fish. And look at all the leftovers. This is what was left after all 5,000 people had eaten until they were full. And that is truly a miracle. And look, this lady over here, she's still eating some fish. So yes, and here's Jesus. He's having some bread. But that is an amazing story. And it's a story about sharing, and it's a miracle story as well of Jesus multiplying that food for those people so that everybody could get fed. Um, so I have a little song that we taught our preschool kids, and hopefully I can remember it, but it's kind of a good one that goes with the story. So I'm going to sing it, and then you guys can sing it, and then I'll do it twice. Hopefully, like I said, I can remember it. So here's how it goes. And you do like a little hand sauce. You want to show me 1 finger, 2 fingers, 5 fingers. Okay? 1 boy had 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. He shared them with Jesus. Lots of people were fed. All right. Pretty good. I remembered it. Marianne would be very proud of me. All right, we'll do it one more time, okay? 1 finger, 2 fingers, 5 fingers, okay? 1 boy had 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. He shared them with Jesus. Lots of people were fed. Good job. All right. So that's a good song to remember that story. And here I have got my handy dandy Spark workbook, and here's my story, Jesus Feeds 5,000. And that's actually the last picture I showed you guys with all the leftovers. And our recap says, a crowd came to hear Jesus. Jesus and the disciples knew the moms, dads, and kids were hungry. What would Jesus do? A boy offered 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. Jesus and blessed and shared the food with 5,000 people. It was a miracle. So our activity for today, not only did you learn a new song to go with the story, but since we are talking about sharing and giving to other people, the activity I want you to do today is we're going to make a penny jar. And this is something easy you can do at home, and you don't have to use a jar. Whatever kind of container you have would work. But it said Jesus fed 5,000. I'm sorry, I'll start over. Jesus fed thousands of people with a tiny amount of food shared by 1 boy. Sometimes little things make a big difference. Search your home for loose change, and then place your coins, the coins you find, in a jar, and then we're going to make a label for our jar or our container that says we care, we share. And then keep adding whenever you get loose change. If you go to a store and you buy a pack of gum and you get some pennies back, save those, and when you get home, put them in your jar. And when the jar is full, bring the coins to your church and you can give it to them as an offering, and then they'll share that with all the charities or organizations that we work with in Billings, and that'll help buy food and other types of things that people in our community need. So I did have a little jar. I'm just going to use a little one because it's the only one I had at work. If you can see today, I'm filming in my office. But here's my little jar, and I've used these little jars for everything. And then I'm going to just I have just a little scrap of paper, and I'm going to cut it down so it fits. So I have a little strip that just fits on this bottom part of my jar. So I'll grab my scissors, and I'm going to just cut it pretty. I'm thinking it's going to be about 1 inch on my jar. If your jar is bigger, you can, of course, make your label bigger. So here we go. So let me see. Yep, that fits on there just right. And I'm going to take some tape, which I've got back here. Oh, actually, before I tape it on, I better write on there what we were going to write on there. We care, we share. So I'm going to write that on my label. I'm going to kind of try to write it a little bigger. Okay, so here's mine. We care, we share, and I'm just going to put this on my jar, and then I'm going to tape it down so it doesn't fall off. So we're just basically making like a piggy bank, penny bank. So there is my little jar with my label on it. And I actually did what the Spark Workbook said. I went around my office and I found loose change. And I actually had this box in my desk. It's actually a paperclip box. And when I looked in it, look what was in there. A whole bunch of change. So I'm going to dump that in my jar. There we go. And I can throw the box away. And I'm going to keep my little jar on my desk. There's my pennies. And when it gets full, I'm going to do what it asked me to do and turn this in as my offering at church. And I'm just going to let it sit here on my desk. So then I remember to do that. So that is your activity for today. Pretty simple, isn't it? And like it said, just go around your house, look in your couch cushions, look in your chair cushions, in drawers. You'll be amazed where you'll find pennies and, even nickels or dimes or whatever. And just collect those, and then you can share them with your church, who will share them with people in our community that really need it. All right, guys, that is it for today. We will go ahead and say our prayer. If I can find my page. All right, it's a short one. And before I say the prayer, I'll just remind you guys, no video next week, but I will be here the next week. So every 2 weeks, remember, through the summer. And I am going to be having another kids club get together in July in probably like 2 weeks, but I will keep everybody notified, and I'll send out an email to let you know what day for sure and what time. So hopefully you guys can make that. And just continue to keep having a fun summer and stay cool and stay safe. Excuse me. And that's it. All right, so let's do our praying hands. And I'll pray and I'll let you guys go. All right. Dear Jesus, thanks for feeding us. Help us to share what we have. Amen. All right, you guys, you have an excellent couple weeks, and I will be back again with another lesson in 2 Sundays. Until then, I'll see you later. Bye.